We've spent over $80 million on Google Ads, working with 300 plus e-commerce brands worldwide. And within this video, I'm going to show you the exact Google Shopping testing framework we use in those Google Ad accounts. Testing is something you need to be doing if you want your Google Shopping ads to produce fantastic, stellar results. Once you've gone through this video, you're going to know how to run Google Shopping ad tests, and you can do it without killing your current Google Ads performance. For those who don't know me, I am Jackson Blackledge, and we exclusively run Google Ads for e-commerce brands such as Echelonn, Amsterdam, Snow, Bulk Nutrients, Ovi. And this is the exact system that we teach at Davey Fogarty's exclusive group of 7+ figure brands, the Daily Mentor. Point number 1, product feed duplication. Unlike search ads where you can easily test different ad copy, shopping ads are generated directly from your product feed. And this creates a massive problem because with search ads, Google gives you those nice fields to test different headlines and descriptions. But the thing is with shopping ads, your ads are created with whatever's in your product feed, and changing your live product feed mid-flight while testing and running Google ads that you're scaling is like performing surgery on yourself while running a marathon. You got to fix your fucking knee up, but you're still running, right? It's risky, and if you suddenly ruin what was working before, you can tank your performance overnight. So that's why feed duplication is the ultimate testing strategy for Google Shopping ads. Now, before I show you how to implement feed duplication, let's talk about what you should be testing. So there are basically 3 core elements that drive shopping ad performance. Firstly, you have product titles, and this is the biggest performance lever, period. Depending on what you put in your title can mean the difference between Google showing or not showing your product to the right audience. Secondly, you have product images. Thirdly, you have landing page. That's all about the customer journey. Everyone knows getting the click, it's not enough. So being able to bring them on a page that converts is the other 50% that will allow you to maximize the performance of your ads. Remember, when making these tests, you only want to change one thing at a time. If you're testing copy, only change the copy. If you're testing images, only change images. Otherwise, if you're testing all these things at the same time, you're not going to know what you pushed to get the results that you got or why things failed. Now, I'm going to dive into showing you how to actually set these tests up. First, you need to create multiple versions of your product feed. Basically, you got 3 options, and I'm going to show you in this video what they are. Option 1 is the manual approach. Export your current feed as a spreadsheet, create copies with your desired changes, upload them as separate feeds. So let me show you a real example. Here's an original product title of one of our clients, men's cotton t-shirt, black, brand X, size large. Here in the new feed, we'll create a test variation, brand X, men's black cotton t-shirt, breathable fabric, size large. See how we've basically restructured the title to lead with the brand and added a benefit? So you essentially want to do this for the products you're running ads to. But as you can tell, if you're a brand that has several hundred SKUs, this can get time consuming very quick. This moves me on to option number 2, and that's using feed management tools similar to what we use, which is Data Feed Watch. There's specialized tools out there that make it much easier to create and manage multiple feed versions with different rules. This is not a sponsored by any way. We simply use their tool for all the clients we work with because I think it's literally the best in the market right now for this task. To create 3 different feed variations, testing different title structures, let's go over a quick example. So here we have our original feed with a product, collagen powder, 500 grams, Panda Drum Plus. Now to create some variations, let's get 2 headline tests. So test 1, improve skin and hair health with collagen powder, 500 grams. For Panda Drum, we can put handcrafted steel drum plus 11-inch, 432 meditation and therapy frequency hand pan drum, white. And then test 2, for the collagen, premium grass-fed collagen powder, highest quality, 500 grams. Test 2 for the drum, steel hand pan meditation drums instrument, rain drum for outside, metal drum, white. So now you should be able to basically import this and you're done. You've basically got a new product feed ready for upload. So last option number 3, you can use supplemental feeds within the Google Merchant Center. And you want to use this option when you don't have to touch your main feed. Some brands use this exact method because they don't have a development team or their feed is managed externally. So with this approach, you keep your main feed but create supplement feeds that override specific attributes for testing. And here's how you create a supplemental feed in the Merchant Center. First, you need to enable this feature in your GMC, aka Google Merchant Center. And to do this, you have to go to settings, click on add-ons, and then add the advanced data source management add-on. First, go to products, feeds, then click the plus button to add a new feed. Then you select supplemental feed as the feed type. Name it clearly, something like title test B, just so you know what you're testing. The key here is just to make sure your supplemental feed includes the product ID column, so Google knows which products to basically modify, plus whatever attributes you're testing, just in this case. So now that we've created your feed variations, you need to basically submit them to Google Merchant Center. Here's how to upload them. In Google Merchant Center, go to products, feeds, and click the plus button. Give your feed a distinct name that clearly identifies the test variant. For example, main feed title test B. The most critical part when doing this is just ensuring that your product identifiers, GTINs, differ between feeds to avoid disapproval. You need to attach a suffix to your product IDs in test feeds. For example, if your original product ID is shirt123, your test feed should use something like shirt123_test B. This just prevents Google from thinking you're submitting duplicate products. Remember, this whole strategy works so that you don't have to replace your current campaign. Ideally, if your campaign is performing well, you don't want to go and make changes that could suddenly tank your performance. So you basically need to create separate campaigns for each feed variation. Google will then decide which campaign will be pushed depending on performance and your budget constraints. In Google Ads, you want to create a new shopping or performance max campaign, and during setup, make sure you to select the specific feed you want to use for this campaign. Use clear naming conventions like shopping title test B, so you can easily track which campaign uses which feed, and you can just track the testing. The most important part, set equal budgets for all test campaigns just to ensure a fair comparison, and then apply the same targeting settings across all test campaigns. When we set up this furniture brand's test, we created two identical campaigns with equal budgets. The only difference was which feed they were pulling from. In the specific test, we were testing lifestyle images versus non-lifestyle images. Over 90 days, our test feed for lifestyle images completely dominated the original non-lifestyle images feed. And this test feed generated 180K in revenue versus just 8,970 of the original feed. And that's a 21x multiplier, all from one simple change. I do want to share one of the biggest shortcuts when it comes to these tests. Tests like ad copy, titles, very easy to roll out. But tests like images, landing pages, these huge levers to your conversion rate and click-through rate, but they do take a lot of time. You have to wait for photographers, wait for designers for landing pages, the developers. But not too long ago, ChatGPT rolled out an update to its 4.0 model that fixes this issue. So let's take a look at this with the example of the product image test. So here's how to use ChatGPT to get photo variations you can run in your ads. Step 1, upload the product image. Here I'm using an LED mask. Then tell it, here's an image of our product. We are going to be adjusting it. Let me know when you're ready. You can tell ChatGPT which type of image style you want. Make me a side angle image of the product against a white background. Or if you want a lifestyle variation, make me an image of the model lying down in bed with the mask on her face while she relaxes. As you can see, ChatGPT clearly gives a photo of both the lifestyle image and the product against a white background. At the end of the day, crazy how far AI has gone, but it's only going to get better, and it's only going to be able to assist e-commerce brands in more ways. So this is a ton of applications beyond just product images, custom landing pages, display ads, social media. For one of our clients in the supplement space, we saw a 93% uplift in overall sales from using a custom landing page. And you can get AI to speed up this process as well. Going back to our chat, let's basically tell it, go back to a woman wearing the mask in a bathrobe smiling, product benefits in rounded boxes, and just list 3 benefits. And as you can see, reduces wrinkles, improves skin tone, boosts collagen. Image looks pretty legit. Even though the eye looks a bit wonky, but it's pretty legit. Anyways, instead of waiting for models and influencers to take shots for you, you can basically have them within minutes. Now let's go over the last bit, which is obviously measuring your testing. When testing duplicated product feeds in Google Ads, patience is key, but you always need to be strategic about your evaluation timeline, which means you need to set boundaries. You don't want to be waiting for too long. You want to know when to stop the test and when to get the feedback and then judge, okay, we continue, we scale, or we just pause and cull it. So here's my advice on the ideal waiting period. You should allow your duplicated product feeds to run for a minimum of 2 to 4 weeks before making any significant judgments. This time frame is crucial because there is a few factors you need to consider. Firstly, that's traffic volume. High traffic accounts above 1,000 clicks a day, you might see reliable patterns emerge in as little as 2 weeks. Medium traffic accounts typically require 3 to 4 weeks to see that data come through, and low traffic accounts, anything that's getting below 1,000 clicks a day, you may need up to 6 weeks just to gather enough data. Also, we have seasonality that we have to be aware of. If you're testing during seasonal shifts or approaching major shopping events like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, where you need to account for these fluctuations by either extending your test to include both normal and peak periods, but also comparing performance to the same period this time last year, rather than just looking at the last 30 days compared to the previous 30 days. Anyways, during the testing, you want to watch these metrics. So impression share, should stabilize within the first week. Click-through rate, this becomes pretty meaningful after 500 impressions per feed. And then of course ROAS, and this will likely require the full testing period to become reliable. That's the feed duplication framework that we've used to help our clients, the students within Daily Mentor, to scale their Google shopping ads. Now, to drive this point home, I just want to mention something. So the most successful brands don't test once, okay? They implement a certain amount of budget per month and they continuously test. They're ruthless when it comes to testing. And here's the framework that we do recommend when it comes to testing. Run test for 2 to 4 weeks, analyze results, implement winning elements as your new baseline, create new feed variations when you test, and test a bunch of new things and ideas. And then you just want to repeat the process. Test, feedback, scale. Ideally, dedicate 10-20% of your shopping ads budget per month to testing new feed variations. And now you might be thinking, this sounds great, but it seems way too complicated to implement. And the truth is, it does take a lot of work and a lot of knowledge, but the payoff is massive. Even a 20% improvement in shopping performance can mean hundreds of thousands in additional revenue. So if you want more advanced Google strategies like this one, click the subscribe button, where we're doing these sort of breakdowns every single week. And if you'd rather have experts handle your e-commerce brand's ad account, go on our website where we do offer a free audit on how to scale with Google. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.